And to details. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi participated on Wednesday via video conference in a UN meeting for heads of state and government on climate change. During his speech, President al-Sisi said that the world is facing many challenges, but climate change remains the most dangerous challenge that faces the planet. The president added that the floods in Pakistan and the fires in the United States and Europe are signs of what could be the future for the world. President al-Sisi also said that the world should move fast to implement climate change pledges, adding that it also should provide finances to reduce emissions. The president added that he is looking forward to receiving world leaders in the climate change summit in Sharm el-Sheikh next November. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received on Wednesday Arab information ministers. During the meeting, President al-Sisi asserted the strategic role of media in supporting the state's efforts to achieve stability and development. The president pointed out the main duties of media in tackling national issues and deepen public awareness of Arab peoples in regard to the common crisis facing the region. In the framework of combating extremist ideologies, President al-Sisi reiterated that all religions seek to boost construction, peace and development, a matter which he said will not be reached without security. Meanwhile, the Arab information ministers expressed appreciation to Egypt and hailed its leading role in preserving security and stability in the Arab region. The meeting also witnessed an open dialogue on means of raising awareness for future generations and supporting the Arab national security, as well as building state institutions and enhancing friendly ties among the Arab countries. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi met on Wednesday Presidential Advisor for Health and Prevention Affairs, Dr. Muhammad Awad Tajuddin. The meeting reviewed the progress of different initiatives in the health sector. The President gave his directives to put a strategy for the development of human resources in the sector in integration with the state's efforts for providing health care for the citizens. President al-Sisi was also briefed on the world's map for pandemics and its impact on Egypt, as well as the national preventative plans for curbing the spread of epidemic diseases in the country. Concerning the coronavirus pandemic, Dr. Muhammad Awad Tajuddin pointed out the notable decline in infections. However, he noted that the newly detected cases suffer from minor symptoms. Marking the World Peace Day, First Lady Mrs. Intisar al-Sisi asserted that peace is the spirit of all religions and the only choice for achieving coexistence and tranquility. On her social media account, the First Lady stressed the need of establishing the concept of peace and boosting values of tolerance and coexistence. The First Lady also pointed out the significance of accepting the other for building a safe and stable community at all levels. Under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli witnessed on Wednesday the launch of the National Strategy for Intellectual Property. The Prime Minister reviewed the strategy's key features, where the objectives are strongly bound with the targets of the UN Sustainable Development Agenda and the World's Agenda for Developing the Intellectual Property, as well as Egypt's Developmental Vision 2030. The Prime Minister highlighted that the strategy's objectives are also consistent with the structural reforms adopted by the government for ensuring cohesion and integration among the state's targets and policies in all fields. The Prime Minister also noted that a committee will be soon formed to implement the strategy and asserted that the government will spare no effort to support this strategy. On the sidelines of the UN General Assembly meetings, Foreign Minister Shokri held a number of meetings. Shokri held talks with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken that focused on bilateral ties as well as a number of regional and international issues of mutual concern. Shokri also held talks with his French and Indian counterparts. The Foreign Minister also met his Greek and Cypriot counterparts on the three-way cooperation mechanism binding the three countries. Shokri also met his Belgian counterpart, stressing the importance of supporting the economies of developing nations as well as facing the current world's food and energy crisis. The foreign minister also held talks with his Hungarian counterpart on enhancing bilateral ties, particularly on the economic front. Egypt's top diplomat also met his Malian counterpart as he reiterated Egypt's support for all efforts to settle differences and ensure the integrity of Mali. Shokri also expressed Egypt's readiness for supporting reconstruction efforts in the African continent. The Interior Ministry resumed its activities to combat all forms of crime as it released its report on the latest achievements in the field of combating fraud and money laundering cases, as well as other crimes that impact the country's economy. The Interior Ministry succeeded in capturing 2 gangs in Minya Governorate in Upper Egypt for robbing huge amounts of money from banks' clients by sending them messages through the cell phones on their banking accounts data. In this context, the ministry called on citizens not to respond for this kind of messages before contacting the bank's customer service. In the money laundering field, a case was discovered totaling £20 million, as well as 11,087 supply cases, 81,770 cases in stealing electricity current, with total sums of £74 million and £570,000. The ministry also seized 3 defendants for stealing money from a number of citizens in Cairo, Giza and Sharqiya, claiming they would help them to get job opportunities abroad. The continuous campaigns are aimed at arresting outlaws, combating crimes and corruption in all forms, as well as preserving public properties. Head of the National Media Authority, Hussein Zain, met with Jordanian Minister of State for Information and Government formal spokesman Faisal Al-Shaboul and his accompanying delegation. The 2 sides discussed means of fostering cooperation between the National Media Authority and the Jordanian Ministry of State for Information in various media fields, as well as ways to confront rumors circulated by some social media platforms. Zain confirmed the activation of cooperation with the Jordanian side with the aim of realizing both the economic and professional sides. He stressed the significance of continuing coordination with the Jordanian side in covering crucial events, adding that there is always a fruitful communication with the Jordanian media in joint programs production. For his part, the Jordanian minister affirmed the media cooperation with the National Media Authority, which owns experiences and capabilities, expressing his appreciation to the distinguished performance of the Egyptian media. Zain also met with Bahraini Minister of Information Affairs Ramzan bin Abdullah Al-Naimi. The 2 sides discussed ways to boost joint cooperation in various media fields.